Hey folks, welcome to the Leeds View podcast for this week's main podcast of the week. We do these twice a week on a Tuesday and on a Thursday, as well as daily Leeds United news, which is available across all of your audio platforms as well as on YouTube. If you're on the audios, you can give us a channel rating and stick a comment in the section below that, as well as if you're on YouTube, give us a subscribe and a thumbs up to help support the channel. There's loads of affiliate links down below. We've got an 8% code with OK Jersey. T-View. You can check that out at your checkout basket, and that's for any of the jerseys they've got there. But it is a World Cup summer up, and they've got some nice World Cup shirts to check them out. So go and have a look. Also, before we get into this, massive thanks to the Portland Whites who sent me some nice stickers for my laptop sound, guys. And if you're in the west coast of America, if you're in the British Columbia, Seattle, or Portland areas, they are having a meetup for the Brentford game, I believe. You can check that out across all of their social media accounts. Right. The full house is in. Everyone's back. Jerry's back from his Holly Bops. Paul's in the house. We've got a couple of things to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about Aston Villa. We're going to talk about Manchester City. We're also going to talk about some of the talking points that have popped up this week. Massimo Cellino and Matt Smith. Well, Matt Smith calling Cellino a lunatic, which is no surprise to absolutely anybody, as well as Jesse Marsh sharing spreadsheets to tell Sam Allardyce to learn how to read. So we're going to get stuck into all of that tonight as well. So, yeah, we'll crack on. We'll start off and see how the lads are. Jerry, how was the holiday and how are you?
It was lovely and hot. Yeah, I found a good Leeds pub, the local Leeds pub, and packed with Leeds fans, obviously enough. And it was a frustrating but good day. I was at Villa on Saturday in corporate. I thought the game was going to be abandoned because just before 3 o'clock before we went out, there was a massive crash, and we thought, oh, something's happened bad. But somebody said, oh no, that was just the England rugby team collapsing. So we went out. 42-21. Wow. Yes, that set the day up nicely. But we don't talk about it. No, we don't. Nope. We don't talk that we were into the backyard and bloody hammered them. Anyway, good corporate was lovely. Yeah, I had trout. It was a bit tasteless, I have to say. It wasn't great with trout. No, I thought I'd try it, but great view. Disappointing they equalised, but bigger picture, nothing changed over the weekend, and we gained points over Spurs and Forest, and all's okay. I'm pretty contented, and I'm a happy Leeds fan. Happy Dundalk fan because we drew last night at the Rovers. Not so good Celtic and Ireland rugby. Did I mention we beat England 42-21? What a game! Anyway, so yeah, all good, and good to be back at the games, and we got 3 home games now, and it's Ellen Road Fiesta for the next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to be over at the Sunderland game. I think I'm looking forward to getting over to that game for the Tuesday night match. Loads there. Yeah, I wasn't in corporate at Villa Park. I was hiding in the Trinity stand, but I did manage to infiltrate their warehouse, their brand new state-of-the-art fan zone that they've got purposely built, where Alan McInally was midway through telling everyone how great Aston Villa were when the fire alarm went off and the whole building had to be evacuated. An hour and a half into its opening. So yeah, it did. So everyone was ushered out. I was like, that's great. This is a cracking building. Everybody out, and then sat on my hands and kept my mouth shut for the remainder of the game. And there was an Irish Villa fan beside me who wouldn't stop talking to me. And I was praying he wasn't going to keep asking me questions about Aston Villa and the history of the club. He didn't. Eventually, he shut up. So I managed to get through. But yeah, same as you, Jerry. Really enjoyed Anton Stach's absolute worldly. And then a little bit disappointed at the end.
Just to mention, there was a guy sitting 3 seats over, and his name was Kevin Masters, I think, and he said to say hello. He watches us, and so he said, "Great pod." He says, "You won't know who I am." He says, "I know who you are," and I thought that's the best thing anybody said to me all year. And including the other half.
You don't know me, but I know you. I was like,
I know. Yeah, usually it involves some sort of transaction. Anyway, so that was good. Thanks, Kevin. Nice to say hello to you.
Yeah, nice. Thanks, Kev.
It was nice. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, sorry, Paul.
No, you're right, Paul. How are you, mate? How's things?
No, you two carry on.
Sorry,
well, friends, you just knock on. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm fine. I've watched the Stach goal an obscene amount of times. The best angle to actually watch it from is there's somebody that's got it pitch side, but he's just behind. And the pace and how flat that ball is, it's just, the fact that the players went, we didn't know what had happened at first. Oh, yeah. And his editing of that when he's sliding on his knees and he's holding a ring box and Bogle stood in front of him with his that's brilliant. Yeah, a little bit disappointing, but at the end of the day, like Gerry said, we've gained a point on Tottenham, we've gained a point on Forest. It's now 4 points, technically 5 because of the goal difference. 6 points still on West Ham, technically 7 because of the goal difference. They're coming into both sets of teams are coming into an awkward amount of games, but for me, overall, I'm happy. You've got it. So it's difficult because at the time we're all fans, and it's just like Jesus, that 14 goals after the 88th minute we've conceded now, and it's just, is there something that we're doing wrong? Is it? But I think that's just the inexperience of this team in the Premier League to a certain degree. It's not a slight against them. It's that just being able to see games out a little bit. And we mentioned just before we came on there, there's a big difference in terms of who they can bring on compared to who we can bring on in terms of the value. You've got Jordan Sancho and his pomp, 75, 80 million quid's worth of player. It's a big, big difference. So yeah, I was annoyed, but big picture, we spoke after the game as well on WhatsApp because you said, I'm not sure how I feel about it. And I gave my little synopsis just quickly, and it kind of helped with perspective side of stuff and just calm everything down. But yeah, City coming up, bring it on.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. Yeah, it was Gabby Goodmunson's reaction is my favorite reaction because as the ball flies into the back of the net, everyone turns to run towards Stack except for Goodmunson, who's still staring at the goal with his hands on his head like this. And Joe Rowland's running off with his hands on his head. It was brilliant. Fantastic free kick. And I sat on my hands, leaned forward and went, oh, that's unfortunate, isn't it? Oh, no. So, yeah, I loved it. Really, really enjoyed it. But less so. Not if Wally Watkins is getting some stick from the Villa fans in the crowd as well, by the way. They are not happy. But Paul, to your point, I think that last 15 minutes, it is a talking point. I believe Isaac Johnson is going to ask Daniel Farke about it tomorrow. Do the substitutions maybe if they come a little bit earlier, our league's a bit fresher, and that doesn't happen. It might not be that. But I think as well, if you look at the data, Leeds running stats and how much work they're putting in to get into those positions, when you're under pressure against sides like Aston Villa with that goal, they're third in the Premier League. And that's a huge gap in quality. And when you're under sustained pressure like that, you're going to concede. And then normally I'd be the first person to say, well, we should have got out more. We should have tried to push out. But watching it, every time we got rid of it and tried to get out, it came straight back in and pushed us right back again. A lot of it for me was on how Villa played. And I think a big part, had that been a goal that had worked around us and someone had lost a man or something like that, I'd complained. The fact it goes in off his knee, and it goes into the only part of the goal that it could possibly go into to score, and see Calvert-Lewin on his hands and knees. Like, he got as high as he could, and it just goes over his head.
The best leaper in the league, and it just scrapes over the top of his head.
Jammy. Because he didn't mean it. You can't, no one's going to convince me that Tammy Abrams meant to knee that ball into the top left-hand corner.
Absolutely not. Not a chance whatsoever at all. We also need to have a chat about Darlow's save in the first half.
Oh, the second part is that's where you have to get it off Watkins' toe. Yeah. Fantastic save.
Volleyball on the ground.
Yeah, he's made some big saves in the last couple of weeks. It's been important. Well, we'll stick it up the stage because we've had this conversation for weeks, Gerry, about the next 4 games. We do it every block of 4.
Yeah.
And we didn't think we'd get a huge amount from Chelsea and Aston Villa. Paul, you had said that, like myself, this could accordion. I keep cutting out the bottom team in the Premier League. I'm so convinced Wolves are already gone. I keep cutting them off the bottom of the Premier League. So excuse that. But we've been saying like there was a possibility of these 3 games that we might not get anything, and the gap between us and the bottom 3 would get tighter before maybe them with the run of games afterwards. It would start to expand. As it is, we go into the Man City game in a position where even if we lose to Man City, we can't be dragged into the bottom 3 next weekend. And then you come out of it, you've got Sunderland at home who've won the worst away records in the Premier League this season. It's back-to-back home games, and you just never know what you'll get from Leeds United at Ellen Road against anybody. So, and as you said, Gerry, at the start, we gained a point on Spurs and we gained a point on Forest. Spurs have to win a game to get above us, and you never know what will happen the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, just back on that free kick, said to the guys beside me, I said, he scored a goal like this against Wolves, the exact same goal. So I look like a genius, and I give it a bit. I was punching the floor, but no, fantastic goal. We looked at these 3 games, Chelsea, Villa, and Man City, and thought, we get anything from these, and And I know there's talk about us conceding late goals and that. Somebody, I don't know who said it today, out of those 12, 14 goals, how many are garbage goals in the sense that we were beaten anyway, probably against Arsenal or some against Forest. So, it balances out. Chelsea game, we were dead and buried. And Cole Palmer misses the biggest sitter of the season. So you take those. Villa, it just was... Yeah, as you said, we weren't getting out. They didn't have many. For all their play, they didn't have loads of shots either, did they? I mean, one hit the post and offside goal was scored, but Darlow, that save he made as well, and the awareness to punch it out. But going into the Man City game, we were saying we could be going into this game still 6 points clear, depending if Liverpool on form beat West Ham. Is that an Anfield, that game, Liverpool West Ham?
Yes.
So if we're going into that game 6 points clear West Ham, then pressure's off in a sense, and whatever we get from the City game would be bonus. And I've just got a feeling that we could, as we said off. There's just that feeling we're under the lights, and it just depends how we set up. Will we go with that second half tactics that we did at the empty ad? I don't know, possibly or do we save that for earlier? And then going into the Sunderland game, Sunderland have been brilliant. They're if that was Leeds now in 36 points, we'd be worried. We'd be looking behind us. I think they're all right. They've done enough, and fair play to them. Xhaka has been what a sign, and since he's been out of the team, they've dropped off a bit. He's back in now, but away they're not brilliant, and I think now is the best time to play them. If we play them at home beginning of the season, different story. So I think that's a win. So if we lose to City, beat Sunderland, and West Ham don't get anything at Liverpool, it's not a bad week. It's not a bad week at all. And the other teams have games, tricky game. Everybody's got tricky games. And you look at Spurs and you think, new manager. You look at that Mickey van de Ven being instructed, and he's ignoring him. And he does that with every manager, and obviously not happy, are they? They're not happy at all. And that would be fun. I don't care who goes down, but as long as we got these teams in between us, and we catch... Shame Brighton and Palace have got points in the last couple of weeks, but I think we can be looking at Sunderland and aiming to get to there, and I think we can do it. So Saturday might be a free hit. I don't like that term, but it could be. And Sunderland get a home win. So if that's 5 points from these 4 games, that is good going. That is excellent. No. And we're losing, we're conceding late goals. The thing is, for draws, if these were all defeats, and as you said, nobody passed the ball around us. I mean, just Calvert-Lewin, of all the people he wanted on the post, and it just went in. And in the end, I was happy. I thought they were going to nick it. But yeah, they're all draws. I mean, many draws have we got there? 10 draws, but all vital scores. Keep the scoreboard ticking over, and we're on 31 points, and it's February, and the old cliche, we'd have taken that all day long. That would have kept us up last year already. Yeah, this was the number of points we were on when we got relegated.
We're only 4 points off in terms of the season that we finished 9th in terms of comparable games. We're only 4 points off that.
Yeah, there was I had a post on my Facebook memories popped up today. There was a picture of Rafinha standing in the kit from the year we finished 9th, and the heading I've got on it is 4 points off safety, nearly there. And I look at this one and think probably 9 points off safety this year, but still there's 11 games left. Yeah. Only need 9 points. Is there 11 or 10?
2 wins, 2 wins, 2 draws, 6. 2 wins, 3 draws.
Yeah, I think 2 wins and 3 draws does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so as well. I'm more confident that there's something about this Leeds team this year. There just seems to be an awful lot more fight. I mean, and again, depending on what way you want to look at the game at the weekend against Aston Villa, we can see the late goal, but my God, did we defend well in that second half against consistent onslaught. My only gripe, and I said it in the review after the game, is I think we can see too many crosses. I would like that to be reduced. And Jaden Bogle, said the exact same thing as well about we're just not defending crosses coming into the box. And that just puts us under a little bit more pressure than we need to be under. Yeah. But in saying that, we dealt with 99% of them, and then it's a And it is, someone's going to complain about this, but it's a fluke for me. He comes off his knee and shoots into the corner. I mean, it's a fluke, but they get their goal. Ultimately, they probably deserves it, looking at the statistics after the game and then looking at how the game went in the first and second half. I think if a draw was probably a good result for us. I still think it's a good result. We said before the game, a point before the game was a good result. It is a good result. They're third in the Premier League. We need to get a bit of a reality check is needed for us here to realise who we are, where we are, and what we're up against. And that's a good result. I mean, you look at that, we narrowly lost to Man City. I'm ignoring Arsenal. We've managed to get a draw at home, away to Aston Villa. We've drawn with Manchester United. We've beaten and drawn Chelsea. We've drawn twice with Liverpool. That's not bad. That's not bad. And now the next 11 games, we have to beat Wolves, beat Burnley, beat West Ham, maybe get something away at Spurs. Their home record's not great.
Yeah.
You got Brighton and Palace there. So in the next 11 games, we have all the sides in and around us. And that's where the wins are really, really going to matter for me. But we have got our new weekly segment called Paul's Got a Feeling, because Paul had a feeling against Chelsea that we'd get something, and we did. And last week, Paul said, I've just got a feeling we'll get something against Aston Villa. And we did. So, Paul, apparently you've got a feeling about Manchester City as well.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. And I don't know if I'm trying not to be overconfident, but I just feel like I'm immensely proud of this team at the moment in terms of what the output that they show when they go onto the pitch, the fight, the determination, everything that they do. You know, Stack, we talk about it sometimes, how he can take a little while to come into a game, and he was superb the entire match. His guile, his determination, and I don't mind saying it. I hope it doesn't happen, but you know, he's going to be a difficult player to hold on to in the summer.
Yeah,
there is that side of it that's coming out. His free kicks, you know, him and Szoboszlai are having their own free kick off this season. It's just they've just been brilliant. His free kick against Wolves, his free kick against Crystal Palace, he absolutely did Dean Henderson, and he did the same thing again, you know, against Villa. And I just think the confidence that's in this team at the moment, and that we've got leaders on the pitch. You know, we spoke about it. There's Biol, and apparently Liverpool are looking at him, whatever you want to believe. But, you know, Farke has said he's captain material. You've got James Justin, who's standing up to the cause. You know, Stack is. You've got, you know, Ampadu, who is an absolute captain. Interestingly, on the new Leeds United podcast, he said that he struggles to be nice about himself as a footballer, that he struggles to be, I'm a good footballer. And I think it's because he's always striving to be something different and something, you know, a little bit better. And just this identity of the team that we have at the moment, that fight, you know, we were dead and buried against Chelsea. We should have never have gotten, you know, back into that game. Full stop. We just shouldn't have done. But we did. We didn't give up. Yes, we conceded late against Villa, but the defending, like you said, in the second half was brilliant. You know, adding to the fact as well that Gabby Goodmanson was sick, because everybody was saying what was wrong with him in the first half, because he seemed not quite at the races. And I thought
straight out for a corner flag.
Yeah, I said, well, he's either injured or there's something else that's up. And as he came off, it was that he was sick. And a lot of people who are complaining because Biol's not in the side, but you can't take Justin out at the moment because he's that solid and that reliable. And that's what we want. We've got competition for places. We've got players that are wanting to fight and happy to have the competition. And that's, like I said, I'm immeasurably proud of this team because of the way that they are currently performing, the way that they are fighting for each other. The fact that DCL's in the shout for, you know, potentially getting into the England squad because of the number of goals that he scored. By the way, I just want to obviously bring up whoever it is that keeps doing it, who's the best signing, who's the best striker signing so far this season, and DCL's not put into the mention because we got him on a free. Come on, do me a favour. I have this team this season has instilled a bit more belief in me in terms of what we can achieve and what we can do. And, you know, I said to you, it'd be really funny. The Leeds could do something incredibly amusing over the next 3 games and go and win everything. Obviously, they're not going to do that now.
Stop it.
But it's the fact. But it's the fact of. I mean, do you want me to talk about the percentages for us to get relegated?
No, I don't. No, no. Let's leave that stuff out there for other people because I don't want to be responsible. Look, I'm a little bit superstitious and someone's going to call me strange and weird. You know that. But until it's mathematically possible, it's still possible we can go down as well. So until we've done, we're not done. Let's focus on getting it done.
That's 100% what we have to do. I mean, you look at, Liverpool at home, Fulham away, Man City at home, Aston Villa away. That 4-game string for West Ham. That's
Arsenal. Arsenal's in a few of those as well. Man City, Liverpool feature, and after this weekend we've got them all out of the way. Man United away, maybe. Yeah, you forgot to mention Pascal Stoke, who's back in.
Stoke, good signing, friendly player.
Great signing. And all the analysis they did on Leeds and Match of the Day the other night didn't mention the free kick. I don't think they mentioned the free kick.
Which was about Watkins.
Yeah, Watkins. Yeah. It's we haven't had a good spell. My favourite stat about Stack is he scored more free kicks this season than Declan Rice has in his career, which is
waiting on it.
I love that one. That's really good. And him to give away a goal against Spurs the other day. The other stat I heard slightly off tangent was Eddie Gray, as manager, has picked players who have played from 1964 right through to date. Any player, he's picked players who've represented the whole way through from 64 to date. Obviously, Peter Lorimer and James Milner at either side of that, but it's still a fascinating stat. But those are my two favourite stats of the week. But,
congratulations to James Milner as well, by the way.
Absolutely.
I want
to take issue with something with this. I want to take a bit of issue with this, right? Because Men in Blazers, I do like their social media stuff, but Men in Blazers keep pushing this narrative. And they keep using Gareth Barry as the example. They keep putting up James Milner's games, Gareth Barry's games, Gareth Barry's games. James Milner's minutes, Gareth Barry's minutes. Now, Gareth Barry has played significantly more Premier League minutes than James Milner. They keep pushing this. Like, so what about the record? Because he hasn't broken a record because Barry has these many more minutes. And I replied to that, I bit and I couldn't not buy. James Milner's broken the appearances record, not the minutes played record. The appearances record. If the conversation was around how many minutes he played, then fair enough. Then that's an argument that Gareth Barry wins. But it's not. The argument is how many games has he played in? He's played in more games than Gareth Barry. And that's the stat that he's won. So, yeah, sorry about that. A little side tangent, but it's been driving me nuts over the weekend.
He's got another couple of seasons in him.
Yeah,
he's a freak. Or fitness.
He's been playing football. He's been playing in first team football in the Premier League since he was 16.
He's 40 now, isn't he? So that's what, 24 years.
But what that speaks to is, his professionalism. He doesn't do the media kind of stuff. He's the big thing about him is being boring James Milner, all of that kind of stuff.
And he's embraced that. He's brilliant.
Yeah, he's absolutely embraced it. But he is the absolute epitome of what a professional is and should be. And when kids these days are looking up to players, they look up to the flair players, but you want to look at the players that have the longevity. Look at players like a Gareth Barry, like a James Milner in particular as well.
They've looked after themselves.
Yeah.
Jerry, let's talk about these games that are on the screen that we're looking at now. These are our remaining fixtures. Every week I knock one off and make the badges a little bit bigger. So by the end of this, we'll have 5 massive badges. What's interesting here is Sky Sports. And I know before anyone types this, I know nobody cares what Clinton Morrison talks about, but we're going to talk about talking points. Clinton Morrison was on Sky Sports today and he was talking about the bottom 5 and he doesn't believe that West Ham will get relegated. No, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. He doesn't believe Spurs are going to get relegated. They're fine. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Crystal Palace, they're going to be fine. And Nottingham Forest, they're going to be fine. But Leeds, he said, Leeds are still in this. Leeds are still in it. They're not safe. They're still in it. Now, Leeds right now, touch wood, and this is me going back against stuff I just told Paul to talk about. Leeds right now weren't even on the screen of the 5 teams they were talking about in the relegation fight. So, which was nice to see. Now, if you look at the run-in, statistically, and again, I know statistics aren't everything. It's only a guide. Opt to have us with the easiest run-in. You look at next set of games, like we've got Man City, West Ham have got Liverpool, Forest have got Brighton, Palace have got Manchester United, and Spurs have got Fulham away from home. There's still a very strong possibility that we all come out of this weekend, Jerry, exactly where we are, and then we go into the following week where we have Sunderland, West Ham have got Fulham, Nottingham Forest have got Man City, Palace and Spurs have each other. So someone's dropping points there. So again, hopefully nobody picks up anything by us against this weekend. And then we're going to choose a nice game against Sunderland. And then the rest of the games, fingers crossed, Leeds could extend the gap again. And then you're looking at Sunderland at home, Brentford at home, Wolves at home. If we can pick up 3 wins there, that's 40 points for the season. We've got that 40-point mark. And that gives us breathing room for the last 5 games. Now, again, it's wishful thinking, everything going well. But it is very much back in, well, it's still in Leeds' hands. But the fixtures coming up for me are a lot more favourable. And if we can play the way we've played against the top sides in the league this year, there should be no reason why at home in those games, Brentford under the lights, we can go and get 9 points in those 3.
Definitely, yeah. Or we get 9 draws. Yeah, we'll be staying up via Spurs. Yeah, that's probably the Leeds way we'll do it.
No,
yeah,
if that's the case, I can't cope with that.
No, I don't think I'll cope either.
No.
We always said there'd be times where it'd squeeze up, but that was the last 3 games. And as I
a
said,
horror show.
Yeah, get this out of the way on Saturday, and we'll say I don't know when Forest play Brighton. No, I assume because they're Europe this week, they'll be playing on Sunday against Brighton.
Yeah,
without looking at it. But yeah, you're right. There's even if you take the Brentford game out, we're not even talking about Burnley, and they've got to be winnable games. And Palace are a bit flaky, and we're sure we can play anybody. So definitely, I can see we got the best run. And you're right what you're saying about the table, because I saw. I think it was at the end of Sunday, or when they were looking at relegation on Sky, and Leeds weren't even in the caption. They weren't assuming us. I love Clinton Morrison. I met him once. Really nice guy. He was so friendly and nice. But yeah, you're wrong there. I think if you're saying Leeds are in it, then the rest of them are in it. That's ridiculous.
I was in the car, Gerry, and my exact words were, "Jesus, Clinton, you're talking out of your arse." Like, I couldn't believe that he just gone. How are none of them in the relegation fight? And Leeds are.
Yeah. I was watching the cricket today, and England needed something like 7 runs off 15 balls, and they got home with about 4 balls to spare, and that's sort of highlights what it can be like in these games. You can go on a bit of a bad run, but you look at West Ham, Liverpool are just hitting form. They got a bit of luck on Sunday. Who cheered the Liverpool goal on Sunday? I did.
Oh God, I hate myself.
I jumped and I thought it was offside, but was it?
Yeah. Do we need to say that opinion? Quick yes or no. The first goal that McAllister scores, handball or not?
It was kicked against him, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think.
But the ball is the letter of the law is.
Yeah.
I would have said goal, and I hate that it's given as not a goal. But if you go back to the Leeds goal where against Chelsea, where Bogle is again, they're arguing that Bogle's handled the ball. The rule states that the ball must go into the goal directly after, or immediately following the ball hitting the arm. And then it's not an accidental handball, and it goes in off the player who scores, which McAllister did with Bogle. It didn't, because 2 other players touched the ball.
Yeah.
So by that logic, it's a handball. But I hate seeing those given.
Yeah.
It's smashed against them. What's he supposed to do? Like Brendan Aronson's handball against Newcastle. What's he supposed to do?
It was great. It was great. It was lovely to see. But yeah, West Ham, they got Liverpool and Man City coming up at home. But I mean, they're home game. West Ham must think we've won 4 out of 7. We should have beaten Bournemouth, should have beaten Chelsea, and we're on a great run. We're still 6 points behind Leeds. What's going on? And when they're conceding late goals, so part of you thinks stuff's happening and it's swinging our way. I think Spurs they just look dreadful. You look at their games. They've got to play Forest. They've got to play us. They've got to play Palace, Brighton. If maybe they're not in there, but it's not that they've got hard or easy games. They're just dreadful, and they've got loads of injuries. New manager, who's he going to get you thought they would have got a bounce out of the playing in the North London derby. I mean, Arsenal are decent, but they're awful. So yeah, so we keep talking about West Ham, but Forest and Spurs just keep ticking those points over, or keep that gap, and that's important. So the upshot is our run looks decent. We know how football goes, and you don't always get what looks right. But I'd rather, if I was looking at these 5 teams and they're given a choice, I'd be taking ours. And we could, in theory, by the Brentford game, and this is stupid saying because it's bad. By the Brentford game, we could be nearly there. And concentrate on the cup.
Yeah. Funny thing is that over the last 12 games we've picked up, I think it's 16 points. Yeah. Tottenham have picked up the least amount of points out of anybody in the last 12 games. They've picked up, I think it's 7 in the last 12 games.
Isn't that the stat Macclesfield, Wrexham, and Mansfield have beaten more Premier League teams since the turn of the year than Spurs? I love those stats. Yeah.
We say Spurs are too good to go down, but look at those fixtures and the fact that they've got to play a lot of sides around them. If they lose to those sides, that's when it gets really, really dangerous. But isn't their motto to dare is to do? Go on, Spurs, have a go going down. Have a go.
Well, apparently, on the plus side, they got their fire certificate because they showed they could evacuate the ground by 81st minute in an emergency.
But if you look at it as well,
that's what I think they're losing the rugby. Well,
would you stop? If you look at it as well from a Spurs point of view, they've got Liverpool away, they've got Aston Villa away, Sunderland away, Chelsea away, still to come.
Yeah. Second last game, Chelsea. That'll be if there's something on that game, Chelsea. I mean, there's no love lost between them two clubs, is there?
No, not at all. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Let's get into the less serious stuff. And I'm saying these are less serious because someone in the comment section again is going to take this far too seriously and start, telling me not to talk about people this way. But it's funny. The surprise. Matt Smith was on the Business of Sport podcast, and he was asked the worst ownership that he played under, and shock horror, it was Massimo Cellino at Leeds United, and he said that his interactions with him were incredibly disrespectful. The funniest part of the whole thing was when he met him and he brought him home, brought all the Leeds players back from their holidays early to give them the minimum 3 weeks that the PFA allowed them to have, the minimum. They got a text from the liaison officer saying we'll be back in the club on the 1st of June. Players said they weren't going to go back. Eventually they all did for a meeting with the owner, had one-to-one meetings. He brought Matt Smith in, complained to him that his agent was looking for more money because Matt Smith was in a contract negotiation for a new 3-year deal. Said he didn't like it, criticised him for the way he played against Bolton, which Matt Smith said, I didn't play against Bolton, I was injured. And then said to him, I believe you've got a business degree. And he said, yeah. He goes, good, you can help me run the club. And then told him to leave the office. And when he went out, told all the players to go back on holiday and see you at the end of the month, which pissed off everybody no end. But just those little things. But it's interesting to see because Cellino has tried to retcon his history with Leeds United and basically said that he never tried to sack Brian McDermott. He basically said, get rid of the couch because it was purple, and they got rid of the coach. And he's tried to make a laugh out of this. And we interviewed Brian McDermott on the channel, and I can tell you from speaking to Brian personally a few times, the damage that he's done personally to a lot of people in that club should never be joked about what he did to people in that club. So, but Matt Smith talked about that as well. But it was interesting to see Matt Smith call him a certified lunatic. Matt Smith was trying to behave himself, Gerry. He was trying to, not say anything overly libelous, but his exact word was, he called him a full-blown lunatic.
Yeah. Well, Matt Smith's a very intelligent guy, and I think an underrated Leeds. But if he'd been a different time, is a big guy up front, but that guy could head a ball. I remember him scoring, was it a couple against Birmingham City when about 2013, and he obviously coined that "don't go to bed just yet" because they give him a new contract and sold him to Fulham next day. That's
a week later he was sold. A week afterwards, and he said that it was Hockaday was sacked, and Hockaday's assistant said to him when they were saying their goodbyes, "Have you seen the list?" And Matt Smith goes, "What list?" And he said, "He's put 6 people on the transfer list." And he goes, "Well, it's not me. I just signed a contract for 3 years last week." And he goes, "Well, the office is empty. Go and have a look." So basically told him, go into the manager's office, it's there on the table. Because they'd vacated the office. And Matt Smith went in and he said, and I was on the transfer list, rang my agent, knew nothing about it, went to Fulham a week later.
Yeah. And he did well there as well. Mad time. I mean, you look at what people complain about now at the club. But as we said before, if you look around all the other clubs, fans hate, managers hate, players hate the board. And this has been a Leeds fan for all my life. This is pretty settled. And we're looking at intricacies of whether subs should be made earlier or who's playing well, and thinking we should have got more players in, but the players we did get in are quite good. They've all stepped up and probably all increased their value. But Cellino, I mean, Brian McDermott, you mentioned there, a decent guy. And I remember when he came in, he turned the team. We were playing good football, and he was so badly treated. And we're lucky. We're still around, really. Although somebody said, I read somewhere, allegedly, that when Cellino came in, he didn't look at the books, and he actually did a job in clearing up a lot of stuff, and he took it on the chin. I'm not saying he did a good job, the way his methods, but
he left us with a bit of debt as well as
he
certain
did. He did
officials.
leave
He
with
left
stuff,
with a pile of it.
and probably I think there was a yacht. I don't know. He might have won that in Bullseye. I don't know, but there was a yacht somewhere, and yeah, it was madness, and we're lucky we came out of that, because you look at Sheffield Wednesday now, and you look at how they are, and it shows you're only one owner away from capitulation.
Disaster.
And I really feel, I know Sheffield are rivals and stuff, but I really feel for their fans and stuff, seeing that happen, and they thought that they were out of it. But I was listening to one of the representatives the other day and saying, we're not sure what's happening next year, and I heard that they could start with a -15. Well, we were there, so we had a few owners as well. So I must listen to that, because I really like Matt Smith, and he's isn't Steve Bruce's father-in-law? I think.
Yes, he is. I believe.
Yeah, he is. So he's a good guy, Matt Smith. Yeah, and I was sorry to see him both the time. So I'll give that a listen. And we can look back on that, but not too much, because I remember going to Ellen Road. We talk about tickets now. There'll be 16,000, 20,000 in Ellen Road Tuesday night. Paul Rahupka and Jason Pierce with his tag on his shirt. Still, yeah.
Do you remember this, like the softcore erotica advent, not calendar, sorry, the calendars that we did? Do you remember those?
I think I do, yes.
Are these the farmyard ones?
Yeah, the farmyard ones, all topless and everything, and all that kind of stuff.
Good file. I've got
the more sitting in the river, Dominic Polion sat in the river.
That was the recovery session. But apparently that was the thing as well. He had drained the swimming pool and turned off all the recovery equipment in the club, and then told the players to pay for their food if they wanted to get fed at the canteen. Which people will say, look, whatever about sacking the manager, that happens in football. But the big part was, and Matt Smith said, he sacked everybody. He sacked dinner ladies. He sacked people that were caretakers at the ground, like people on really low incomes that were just had a living off the football club, doing their jobs every day. Sacked all of them. Completely closed down the training facilities, which Matt Smith spoke very, very highly of. So it was mad. I mean, people want to say maybe Bates, he was better than Bates, or GFH, he was better than GFH.
I've got a GFH.
All of them equally were bad.
Insane.
I was going to say, I remember the press conference when GFH took over, and I thought, I'm not sure about this. I remember they looked like rabbits in the headlights, and they were checking championship
that weird situation with David Hay as well. Hay, just being imprisoned in Dubai, and it's just like, I don't understand what's going on here.
They invited him. He'd come out, and then they invited him to Dubai to come back to the club, because he was involved with Sports Capital. They were trying to buy the club out at that time. And they invited him to come over to talk about getting his job back and coming in. The second he landed in Dubai, they arrested him for being gay and then put him in prison. Just mad stuff. And if actually your man Salim, I can't remember a second, was it Salim Patel?
Salim Milani.
The guy. Yeah, he
the one that had the burner account on Wacko.
He still has an account on Twitter. It's still him in a Leeds jersey. It's absolutely nuts. But yeah, I would say all of them were equally nuts, and none of them. The word better than I wouldn't put even in a sentence, but they were all equally bad. Luckily, we're past that, but not too far past of mad times, Paul, because Sam Allardyce on No Tippy Tappy basically pointed to the fact that the Leeds United fitness stats had fallen off a cliff when he'd taken over. Part of the reason he took over the club was because he believed that under Marcelo Bielsa, they top 3, top 2 running stats and fitness stats in the Premier League, and that he was going to inherit something like that, and that would give him a chance to at least get them out. Now, again, you can think whatever you want of Sam Allardyce, and everyone has their own opinion on that, but that was his thought process going into the club. And he said how the previous 2 managers had allowed that to slide. Now, Javi Gracia was only in for 12 games, I think, at that point, so, and didn't have any pre-season, so I'm not sure you can lay it at his door, but it seemed like a very pointed conversation towards Jesse Marsh, who, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure Jesse Marsh told all of us not that long ago via a social media post to move on with our lives.
Yep.
And he keeps coming back around to Leeds United. And now he's had a pop at Sam Allardyce where, Paul, he shared a spreadsheet of the running stats data and said, learn to read, pal, which is now deleted. But he has had a pop at a couple of other Leeds fans as well. He's got into an argument online with Leeds. So you've got, as Joe Blackburn texted today, it's great to see your 2 exes arguing with each other, isn't it?
I just wish mum and dad had sorted it out and
stop fighting, man. Friends, do it for the kids.
People forget, and listen, we can all have our opinion. You just said it there about Sam Allardyce and what people think about him, but he was one of the originators with his Bolton squad in terms of fitness, metrics, all of that type of stuff. If you remember when players were getting ready to come on, they'd be on the side of the pitch on spin bikes, getting the heart rates up, getting all of the bits and pieces up, doing what they needed to do before they came on. So when it comes to talking about fitness, he does know what he's talking about. And it was true. I mean, in terms of running statistics, under Bielsa, nobody covered more ground than the Leeds United squad. Nobody did. And because... exactly. And because Jesse Marsh's way of doing football was more kind of the headless chicken approach and see what worked or what kind of went into trying to make it work, the fitness did drop off. He inherited a team.
He said that they were overtrained.
Yeah.
So of course he changed the training down a bit.
We're scared. Yeah.
But it was the confidence in the players was low at that point. The fight had been trained out of them, if you want to say it in that way. They didn't know which way they were supposed to be going. We looked at watching them with an eye test, and you could easily see, I'm not sure they know what's going on or what is expected of them. Yeah. And unfortunately, in those types of situations, you are going to see a natural drop-off in fitness, a natural drop-off in the aggressive way that you go about playing football. But just Jesse Marsh appears to be a very, very easily triggered person when it comes to people having an opinion about his time at Leeds and, you know, and about what he does. I mean, for me, before he even came to us as a manager, the only thing I remember him for was because he couldn't get anywhere near David Beckham, was kicking him up one side and down the other and smashing into him. That's the only thing I knew Jesse Marsh for. So, yeah, come on, let's be a little bit sensible. And if you have an issue like that with somebody,
ring them.
Pick up the phone and ring them. I mean, he wasn't saying that Jesse Marsh was a bad coach. What he was saying is that in the period with Jesse Marsh, the fitness levels had dropped off. That's an undeniable fact. It had.
Jesse himself had said would happen because they were overtrained. So therefore, he was going to reduce the training, which would see the fitness levels drop off. That's
And generally, his tactic. If we'd sacked him in November when he won at Anfield and all that, if we'd sacked him then, we might have had a chance. Maybe he'd bring Big Sam. As you say, sometimes it's a bit. Every job comes up. You know, politicians, royalty, and Big Sam's. It's always the picture, but. Maybe he could have done something. I don't know. I mean, it was bad times when we had to do that. But Jesse Marsh, I remember the second game we played was home to Villa. We lost 3-0, and I'm thinking, what the hell? What are we doing? And it was awful. And it continued to be that. And we had a harum scarum win over Bournemouth. We had that win against Liverpool, saved them after the World Cup. And then he should have gone in the Forest game. He went and it just capitulated. But as you say, just go away. I mean, you don't hear Darko, whatever his name was.
Milovic,
You don't hear him bitching, do you? Never heard of him.
I don't hear any of the 400 managers that
I want to hear from Dave. There needs to be an interview with Dave Hockaday about, an in-depth interview what went on. That would be fascinating because it's the maddest story ever. And you think he just thought, you know what? I've got this job, man. I'm following me. I'm just going to do. Maybe I shouldn't have said we're going to win the European Cup, but what the hell, And I want to know about Junior Lewis, his assistant.
Yeah, what's he doing with himself? With his life?
What does he say? Did he ever speak? That's the. So these are. I'm always fascinated by these sort of people on the peripheral. So, but we're well. But we've had Bielsa, and now we got. Daniel is doing an okay job, so it's fun to look back on it. But Jesus, when you're in the middle of it, it was dreadful. It was dreadful.
Just for as a like a final nail in the coffin to that one with Jesse Marsh, when we stayed up against Brentford, and he wants to take the credit for us being able to stay up. It was nothing to do with him. It was to do with Rafinha was the reason why we stayed up that season.
Yeah, it was
players. Not just Rafinha, because Jack Harrison put in a shift towards the end of that season. So Gallagher was very good towards the end of that season. The players stepped up. towards the end of that season. So yeah, I would agree with that.
I
Right,
think
let's move on. We're going to get a couple.
Pascal Stokes scored a goal, didn't he?
Yeah, Pascal Stoke. Yeah, we are approaching the last 5 minutes where I start to get edgy about the time frame because I don't want to go over an hour. So I am going to just ask you guys for your thoughts on as briefly as you can do it. We probably talked too long about Jesse Marsh and Sam Allardyce and Matt Smith and Cellino, but the summer plans kind of came out via Mikey Keegan in the Daily Mail, who tends to be pretty clued into these big statements about Leeds. And he said that Leeds' plan for next season is absolutely underway, assuming, caveated, that we stay in the Premier League. Leeds will have a 100 million transfer kitty, pretty similar to last season's. They will also look to have player sales to try and upweight the squad, so to improve the level of the players that we've got right now. So you will see some exits, which will add on to that as well. Daniel Farke's future is a play-by-play kind of situation. They're just going to wait and see what happens with that, and they'll make a decision on a new contract with Daniel after the season is complete and the job has been done. And Ellen Road will continue with its development regardless of what division Leeds are in. Paul, thoughts on this one in as not too brief, but as briefly as you can.
Yeah, I would hope that or expect that there'd be at least 4 or 5 players that are probably going to be going out the door, and I think top of those players are going to be Nonto and Pirro. More than likely are going to be 2 of the ones that are going to be going, which is going to add to the kitty. I have a strange, not a strange feeling, but the thought is that they're going to do something similar a la Harry Wilson in terms of looking for very, very good free signings that are coming on. We've talked about it in terms of players that are now looking to do it and running the contracts down and then looking what's out there for them to happen on there. So I think that we're going to be shrewd in the market again, but I do see us improving the squad. People need to understand as well that regardless of what league we're in, we will be doing stadium redevelopment. That money is ring fenced,
and it's raised outside. It's an additional money being raised that does not fall into PSR or SCR, so can't affect that.
I would expect us to probably spend over the summer somewhere between probably about 100 to 150 million on players. That's where my head would be with it all.
I think 100 to 120, possibly, depending on what we can bring in on players. But yeah, Gerry, good point that Paul's made there about the free transfers you look at. And again, these are just rumored interest in players. Harry Wilson will be a free transfer as it stands right now. Danilo Duki is a player they've looked at, the centre back from Union Berlin. He's out of contract. Today, Leeds, along with other clubs, have been rumored, and again, it's not from a very credible source, but rumored to have interest in Moroccan left back who plays at FC Utrecht, who is Soufiane El Karouani, who is very, very good. He's got played 16 assists in all competitions this year, 5'10", 25 years of age as a left back. So if they're smart, that 100 million could go a lot further if they can get some decent free transfers in, which they've done pretty well with DCL and Mecha in the summer.
Yeah, well, free transfers aren't bad players; they're just out of contracts the way it is. And we've done okay in free transfers. So yeah, use that market. I think we stay up, and we obviously have to evolve. That's the way you stay up. And it looks pretty savvy in the transfer market this year, even though we probably fell a bit short. But you're right, there will be players like Willie Nonto we got for 4 million. With 20 million. Tanaka, 2.5 million. He'll be up in that price range as well. So PRS and everything. It makes sense. Pirro probably break even on that. And could be others. But it's sad to see those go, but football evolves, and that's good luck to them, those players, because they've been excellent. Or Tanaka might have the best finish to the season. Don't know. So yeah, we certainly will upgrade. Yeah, and hopefully we do our business early and get loads of players in. And the 31st of August, we might get somebody in as a. Well, that's the Leeds end. It is.
It's not going to happen.
No.
It's not going to be done.
Hang on. He's so confident, Gerry, that we're going to win everything this year. He doesn't believe that we're going to get a business done early.
On winning the FA Cup, we're going to have to build for Europe as well. Do we go into the Champions League? No, we don't. We go into Europa League. And I've seen the dream scenario was group stage Leeds Dundalk. That's going to happen next year. But that's getting far away from ourselves. The ground, great. I want the ground as it is. I like the ground as it is. I like the asbestos walls and everything. But yeah, it's going to change. And we've heard plans about what they're going to do in the Bremner Suite about relocating, and there's going to be temporary accommodation for us, and there's a little bridge or something going across to get us in, all that stuff. So it happened. It's going to be fantastic when it does. It's going to be a lot of disruption and people will be annoyed. And Daniel Farke, that'll be the big discussion. You know, I think we stay up comfortably. I think he deserves a chance. I really do. Why change? Why bring in somebody from Spain or some manager? It's all about, you know, steady and keep it the same. Yes, come October, November, we've lost 10 games. Then you change it. But I think he's deserved this chance. We were critical of him mid-season. It looked dark for him, and he's turned around. And I think overall he's done it. He's come in first 2 seasons in the Championship, chaos. Both starts of the season, Premier League, tough start, was going wrong, and he's turned around. So I would be happy to see Daniel Farke, but that'll get them all raging. You know, we'll after the World Cup. You know, there's that Canadian manager. He'll probably do well. They'll be after him, won't they? Jesse O'Marconi or whatever his name is. Yeah. Helmer Hydson, when we win Ireland, get to the last 4, he'll be big.
Oh well, yeah.
That's it. That's if we of course Ireland are going to Mexico, aren't we? Where the new Netflix Narco series is kicking off, and in Mexico, all the troubles. So yeah, that's an aside. Ireland. Oh, by the way, I got
the boys from Kin can go over and join them.
Yeah. I told you there's only 1,000 tickets for the Czechia game. I got one. I've been allocated. I've got me ticket.
Good.
1,000 out of 10,000 fans. I'm really pleased. But anyway, so yeah, it's all sort of optimistic, proper stuff, not mad stuff that a club who's on the up will be discussing. Players, ground development, manager retained, and happy Leeds fans. Well, we never have happy Leeds fans, will we? That's just what we do. We'll be happier. And happier Irish Leeds rugby fans is even better. 42-21. That was good, wasn't it? 42-21.
You're going to get us killed today. You're going to get us killed in the comments.
I love the Irish. I love us beating them. Yeah.
Paul, what do you want? What do you want, Paul?
He wants me to shut up.
In what way? I'm watching the time and I can see the colour draining out of your face.
I saw you leaning forward to the microphone. That's
just been brief, Paul. That's just been brief. Yeah.
I was brief.
That is been well done. Brief. Congratulations. Yeah, if you get to this stage of the video and it's at 44 minutes, not 52, then we probably cut out the Jesse Marr section. We'll suck that in the edit. We'll see how it goes.
Leave the rugby in.
But yeah, folks, that'll do it for us.
Stop talking about the rugby.
That'll do. God, the 2 years.
Sorry, I'll stop that.
I hate both of you equally. Folks, thanks for joining us tonight, the View podcast. Back tomorrow morning for the Leeds news. You can check this guy out at the Leeds Therapy. You can check Gerry out on X at GerryMacker123. And if you want to give us a like, a subscribe on the pod on your way out the door, please do. I hope you enjoyed yourselves tonight as much as the lads have. And I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. See you later.